Before I start the whole review process, I just want to make a statement. Eventually, I will be able to get some gameplay on the screen where I can actually show you what I've done, and I can put some voiceover work in there. But for right now, I'm kind of limited on technology, and well, quite frankly, I'm limited on funds. So I'm not actually going to be emulating any gameplay for right now. So just kind of bear with me, guys. I'll get there eventually. I'm just kind of poor. So anyway, to the review.
Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Spins a web any size, catches seeds just like...
I come to you today with a sorrowful heart. We all know, every one of us know in the gaming community, that it is really hard to make a Spider-Man game. We don't know why. We don't know why it is so hard to make a video game about one of the greatest superheroes that has ever been invented. And you think that it would be child's play to create a new game and make it fun and enjoyable. But for some reason, people keep messing it up, and we don't know why. The formula is broken, people. We need to fix it. My example today, I bought Spider-Man Web of Shadows. Was released October 2008. That means this game is at least 6 years old. This is a little dated, so it's not, I'm giving it a little slack. When I first turned on the game, I saw the graphics. The graphics were okay at best. Like, there's no higher level than that for this. But considering I knew it was an older game at the time, it was forgivable, you know what I mean? But then people started talking. The voice acting in this game is horrible. It's awful. It doesn't draw you in at all. It doesn't make you think, I'm actually Spider-Man right now. I'm talking to Mary Jane, or I'm talking to Luke Cage, or whoever. You're thinking, I'm talking to a guy who does a bad impersonation of these characters. I'm talking to someone who can't act. And it just throws you out. Like, immediately from the get-go. You get on and you're like, Spider-Man, awesome. This beginning intro happens, and it's actually, cinematically, it's okay. But then eventually you get to play the game, and you start punching around, but the moves are just so limited. It's so freaking easy. You just hit A over and over again, and you win. It's not complicated whatsoever. Correction, you don't push A, you push X. I'm weird. I'm okay with it. The controls are hardly there. The mechanics for fighting are not there. If you've played Batman Arkham Asylum, another superhero game, about a man who doesn't even have superpowers, the combat in that game is amazing. It's phenomenal compared to this, because there's so many complicated things you can do, and there's also achievements on the game that you can get by doing every single move you possibly can in one combo. That's cool, that's complicated, but in a good way. This is simplistic in a bad way. There is a difference, and this is it. This is the dividing line. This is what we should be using for a format, a template for not creating good combat. The music in this game. For the most part, music is non-existent. I think they got the world's smallest violins or something, and they're just like... Danny Elfman did the score for the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. Those are pretty cool. They should have got him to do this, because apparently they need to crank up the volume a bit, because they don't know what an acceptable level is. You're sitting there in silence watching these people go around. Sound effects are there, which saves it a little bit, but not much. It's not exactly a giant saving grace. You actually get into combat when you're actually in the game instead of a cutscene, and the music kicks on. Like, where was that before? It's obviously here. You obviously have it in the game. Why aren't you playing it during the cutscene? And I checked the volume levels. Music volume was 100% before I even touched it. So it was literally going as high as you could go. That means that the highest setting is non-existent almost. Come on, guys. What's going on? What's up? That ain't right. That ain't right. One thing that's not a giant detail, but it bugged me. Mary Jane called Spider-Man Peter in front of people. Like, I know it's not a big deal, not a critical game review type point to make, but if you're gonna keep it canon and you're gonna keep it in the universe of Spider-Man, Mary Jane would not on her life call him Peter in front of anybody who didn't already know who he was. Luke Cage is another superhero, and he doesn't know that Peter knows Mary Jane. He hides it from him. Why is she just, oh, Peter? And then this brings me to my next point. Spider-Man, Peter Parker, is not witty in this. He is not funny, he's not jokey, he's not snarky, he's not sarcastic, he's not a giant a-hole. He is whiny. It gets on my nerves because he'll go over to Mary Jane. Mary Jane, are you okay? I thought you broke a nail and I wanted to make sure you were safe and you were out of harm's way. Mary Jane is a babe in any universe you put her in. So, yeah, I understand him doting over her and, fawning over her, but dude, you're Spider-Man. You are literally, pound for pound, as strong as the Hulk, man. You can bench press 2 tons. You're a man. Get used to the idea that your girl may be in danger at some point. She's not exactly a wimp. The problem with this, though, is that when he is jokey, it sucks. When you're just watching it going, this is awful. Like, that wasn't funny at all. Why would you do this? What makes you think this is okay? It shouldn't bug me as much as it does. But the formula for Spider-Man is not a hard one to get, folks. You need a snarky guy who can pull off snarky, for one thing, and he's not whiny, and he's not clingy, but he's a nice guy at the same time. It's not a complicated formula, but you gotta get it just right. I think Andrew Garfield in the latest Spider-Mans was a good pick because he was able to pull off snarky, but he was also be able to pull off the sensitive nice guy at the same time. For Gwen, Black Cat. They have Black Cat in this game. They can't get characters right, folks. They can't get characters right. Black Cat's all wrong. At some point they do this little meetup and then he catches her and he stops her from doing something and she runs off and he's like, alright, come back, I'm chasing you. And then she's being all girly and moody and then he catches up to her. And then he says, what's wrong? She goes, it's all wrong. It's all for you. I was trying to show you that we belong together. Why don't you love me back? And it's just like, that's not Black Cat at all. Black Cat is a lot like Black Widow. Really cold and really hard at heart. But she had a soft spot for certain people. There is only one thing they actually got correct in this game. That's the swinging. They kind of modeled it after Spider-Man 2, the game, that swinging style. I actually found myself trying to do a certain move you could only do on Spider-Man 2 because it felt so similar. That was a good thing for me. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, I found myself swinging around the town, and not doing any of the main missions or anything, but just beating up people, just so I could swing around. When one of the mechanics of the game becomes the focus of the game, you have messed up somewhere very severely, folks. I'm gonna calm down a bit. Back to Happy Land, which doesn't exist in this episode. Bottom line is, Wolverine's in this game somewhere. I love Wolverine. He's somewhere here. I didn't get far enough to see him. I didn't want to get far enough to see him. I got to level 3, I think, and I cut out of there. Couldn't take anymore. Does it stand up today? I know this game is 6 years old, and that's aged for a game. After a while, you get outdated. Does this game stand up today? In my opinion, it does not, because I looked up reviews from when this game was new. It was getting like 8 out of 10s. It was getting like really high scores. But then I play it myself, and I feel like I have to take a shower after playing it. So guys, the question is, download it or delete it? That's your choice. Mine's delete it. And guys, thank you for joining me. My name's Caleb. Stay beautiful, stay awesome, stay you.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man, does whatever a spider can. Spins a web any size, catches seeds, just...
You want to tussle? You want to fight? Come on. I don't... So they got Black Cat all wrong. They got her whining over Peter, and I am not going to react to the bird noise. You're a horrible person. Guess what's going on in the blooper reel? Anyway, stop it! I do different angles and crap like that.
And you're recording?
Yes.
Cool.
You are now immortalized on video. Your voices, at least.
I am Batman.
There is only one thing that they got okay in this game at all. I'm going to repeat that because there's a bird noise in the background.